Welcome back to the 33rd Team Fantasy Football Network. Today we're talking about the 5 best Week 11 DFS tips with our in-house DFS expert, Jordan Vanek. We'll be going through our quarterback, running back, wide receiver, all the way to the defense, and a favorite play for each position. So Jordan, let's start with QB. Who is your go-to this week for DFS at the quarterback position?
So for me, it's Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We just saw Tampa Bay 2 weeks ago face a Kyle Shanahan disciple and a Kyle Shanahan scheme. What happened? We saw CJ Stroud throw for over 400 yards. It felt like there was guys open consistently, and I feel like in this game, Brock Purdy's also been very good against cover 3 all season. This is a spot for him to have a boom week. This is a spot for him to throw for multiple touchdowns because we know with Vita Vea up front, they're going to sell out on McCaffrey. Like they have to respect that, and they're going to make Brock Purdy beat him because that's probably the best chance you have against San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, teams against them average one of the highest pass rates over expected. San Francisco consistently in the bottom of pass attempts, but this seems like a week that they're going to jump up. With Brock Purdy, if you were going for one position specifically, where are you going to be going for the wide receivers in this game? Is it going to be George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, or Deebo Samuel?
I posted earlier on the week about this. Brandon Ayuk, for me, is the guy that you need to have in your stack with Brock Purdy. He averages over 30% target share. He averages over 3.9 yards per route run against cover 3, which is one of the base coverages in Tampa Bay. And when Tampa Bay decides to go to their other coverages, one of the primary ones is bringing a cover 1 look with a blitz, and that's where Deebo Samuel kind of pops. So I'm double stacking him. I want Ayuk in every single one of those, but I'm comfortable with Deebo or Kittle as the other option with Brock Purdy.
I love that. Where are we going for running back at this week? I mean, you've had some awesome running back picks the last couple of weeks. Like, where is the best place to go, whether it's paying up or going for someone cheaper this week?
It's Devon Achane. I mean, the Raiders' run defense has been bad all year long. They've been benefited by playing the Jets with Zach Wilson and Tommy DeVito. Don't know which one he is because obviously one's the actor, but they've benefited from playing these bad offenses. And when they've played running backs with speed, they've struggled. You saw James Cook go for over 100 yards against them. You saw the other running back, which was Jahmyr Gibbs, just 3 weeks ago, go for 152 yards. I mean, again, Gibbs is really good, and James Cook has been misutilized recently, but we have Achane in a spot where he's supposed to be coming back, and we've seen that even without a full-time workload, he had 54 DraftKings points, 30, 25. Every time that dude touched the ball, it felt like he's playing at a different speed than everybody else, and Mostert hasn't been getting a full workload lately. He hasn't been playing a full-time snap share. So for me, this is a spot where him being back, it's in Miami. This is the first Antonio Pierce game against a real offense, a real team. I think he has an explosive day.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I have a lot of Devon Achane in my regular fantasy league, so I would love to see him go off this week. I think it's a perfect matchup to do so. At wide receiver, if you're not going for a San Francisco 49er, where would be the backup options or players that you'd be targeting from other teams?
So at one of the higher price range, just a guy that's not going to get a lot of love this weekend just because you usually would stack him, it's Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett against cover 3 or cover 4 has had over a 25% target share against each. That's Gina's go-to against those two coverages. The Rams play that at the 4th highest rate in the league, one of those, and it's over a 52% rate. There's something that they're going to live in. It's something that they thrive in, and when you look at some of the film aspects of it, when the Seahawks want to go 2 tight ends and they play Lockett on the boundary, we've seen the Rams get beat down the field on that boundary. So I think it's a game for Lockett to have a ton of targets and have the volume dictate some of that DraftKings points. And then the other receiver, if you want to go to the cheaper aspect, is Deontay Johnson. It's an ugly game. It's got a 33-point total. We've seen Kenny Pickett just be horrendous at times. But we see Deontay Johnson in a spot where the Browns, not only do they play cover 1, they play this cover 1 robber look, which basically brings the safety down to kind of play as the middle fielder in a sense. Deontay Johnson against that coverage has a 50% target per route run rate. This is a spot where he's 5K, 4,900. We've seen George Pickens just get locked up. He's going to be fighting a lot of these Browns defensive cornerbacks. Deontay Johnson is someone who's been getting open, and Kenny Pickett's been getting it to him. And we've seen guys like Josh Downs have success against the Browns. We've seen some of the spots where other guys can do it. So at the price, I'll buy into Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, Deontay Johnson's coming off his worst game in 3 years. So I think that's a perfect buy low spot. Price going to drop down, especially after coming off a game that bad. Only things have to go up. I love this that you said on the target per route run. That is ridiculous. At tight end this week, Mark Andrews already played. We are, looking a little thin on some tight end options for this week. So if it's not going to be Travis Kelce, where do you find yourself going if you're going for a cheaper option?
So Trey McBride has just been a standout tight end the last few weeks. I've continued to fade him, and he's continued to hurt me. The Texans have been one of the worst teams at defending slot tight ends. Trey McBride gets plenty of snaps in the slot. We know Kyler's back. We know Kyler looked really healthy and found Trey McBride quite frequently. So he's the guy to kind of pay up for, but DraftKings made a mistake. And Pat Freiermuth is 2,500. I have no idea why they decided to leave him so cheap. Usually they just keep guys at their price when they come back from injury. If you want to play them coming back, you can play them. But right now, Pat Freiermuth at 2,500, it's just a difficult player if he plays to fade. And it also makes Deontay Johnson a fantastic pivot option, which adds to his play. But for me at 2,500, man, it's Pat Freiermuth should be 35, 3,600. And even if he gets you 5, that's 2xing on his price. He's a guy that can get 10, 15 just off of targets because Kenny Pickett loves throwing him the ball, and the Steelers have been much better against the run. So play action, hitting that tight end in the seam is something you can see from him in this matchup.
I love that. Defense, probably the toughest position to pick in DFS. We talk about it every single week. Either you're paying up, going cheaper. It's a needle in a haystack, hoping for some big plays or a touchdown. Where is the crystal ball telling you to go for week 11?
I have no idea why the field's not playing the Jets. The Jets defense is where I'm going. The Bills have just been broken. I love Josh Allen. I love the talent he is. He just throws an interception. It feels like every single game. Their offensive line's not too good. And now Joe Brady's taking over. As a Carolina Panthers fan, Joe Brady's going to fix some things. I know kind of how the offense operates with him. I think that he's going to also be extremely pass heavy. I don't think he's going to be sitting here trying to get the ball to Leonard Fournette. I don't think he's going to be pounding the rock with Latavius Murray. I think James Cook sees an uptick in usage, but overall it's going to be a lot of throwing for this Bills team, which opens up the door for sacks, interceptions, and his Jets defense against some of the elite quarterbacks have caused issues for these guys.
I love that. Again, no team is probably destined to make big plays. And I think we're due to have Sauce Gardner and just take one to the house. So hopefully it happens this week. I absolutely love that call. And I hope you guys are absolutely loving this show. Thanksgiving week is next week. So I think we'll be off on this show for next week, but we will be back for week 13 as we're getting closer and closer to the fantasy football playoffs, the end of the regular season. But as always, there'll be more goodness to come. But until then time, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and keep chasing that upside. Until next time.